roll. Hello?
Hello.
Welcome. Let's do a sound check and a video check. Everybody see the video okay and the sound okay?
Can everybody hear me? We're laughing because we're having fun with new stuff. Hope you like it.
The green letters go off the screen. Yep.
The what? The Green Lantern.
The green letters.
The green letters. Yeah, we did see that.
Okay. How's that? Sounding good?
Sound good.
Okay. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Janice.
Hi, Janice.
Sherry Lynch, how are you?
Hi, Sherry.
Mr. Thompson, how are you tonight? Hi, Kathy. How are you guys doing tonight?
Just doing some dye maintenance here while we're waiting for everybody to jump on.
Hey, Karen. Yeah, check. Test.
I know we had a dye pick. I don't know where it is.
So it shows a different background tonight. What do you guys think of that? You can see the quilt in the back. Hi, Martha. How are you tonight?
Using the actual tool now.
Welcome to the show if you haven't been on before.
Is it just me or does this look exactly like an old school dental pick?
Zoom in on that there, John. Let's see.
This is your dye pick. So, does it look like a dental pick? Because it does to me. It's like
hey, Amber, how are you?
Memories
Alana.
from when getting your teeth cleaned used to be a manual process. So this is something you just need to do every once in a while to scrape all those little threads out of your dye. It makes them cut better.
Picture's a little fuzzy.
Robert's doing technical stuff right now.
Hey, Carol, how are you tonight?
Thank you for joining. Tonight's is all about quilting. But isn't it normally? Kind of. Tonight's show. And I'm going to show you a free motion pattern that I've kind of really adopted and like a lot.
Yeah, I think so. Most people are on. Hi, Karen. How are you tonight? Will Joan be in the store on Saturday? I do believe Joan will be in the store on Saturday. So, got some other appointments, I believe.
Yep, probably.
Stephanie, welcome tonight. Well,
Wait,
Joan.
which store?
Huh?
Which store?
I think she's talking about here.
Okay, so probably.
Hey,
for a
Ellen.
while anyway.
Hi, Jody. Who are we?
So we are Quilters HQ, Windmill Sewing Center, and Sewing Machines Express. The websites are quiltershq.com, windmillsewingcenter.com, and QHQ2.com. So announcements, Table Runner Club, lots and lots of interest in this one. So it is on the website. It's $25 per class. There's going to be 9 classes, so it's a club. $200, so you get one free if you pay for it all at once. And I don't know if that includes the kit. Is Judy on? Judy, if you can, jump on and let us know if that includes the kit or not. Beginning piecing. Wow, it's been 2 days down south and just pick up that accent all over again. Beginning piecing. It's a 4-week program on Friday. It starts on a Friday, April 1st through the 22nd at Quilters HQ. $60 for 4 classes. So if you're new to quilting and you know somebody that wants to get into quilting, this is a perfect class for them. Beginning quilting, and this is with the walking foot. It starts April 29th to May 20th. So if you sign up for the first one, you should sign up for the second one, and then you can quilt the quilts you make. Same price, $60 for 4 classes. That works out to like, what, 20? No, 15? 15 a class?
15, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond Skill Builder Quilt by Hoop Sisters. That one is starting April 28th.
Hi, Carol. Hi, Joel.
And that one is $280 for 7 classes. It includes the CD and the fabric. Let's Surge, again, April 2nd through May 21st from 10:30 to 1:30. That one is $120 for 8 classes. And then Kimberbell, February 12th.
Hi,
They're making a zip pouch this time. They're going to embroider on it. They've done a whole new thing. So Kimberbell's done a whole new thing with the zipper and everything. So that one is going to be a lot of fun. It's $25 or it's $250 for the year, but it'll be prorated if you want to sign up for all of them. And then we have Accuquilt Club, which is free.
Hi, Cecilia.
That one is third Thursday every month. We are second month in for a project.
So we got some new viewers on, Joan. What's the show and when do we have the show? And
So this is Make It So. It's on the JoanSews channel on YouTube and Quilters HQ on Facebook. And so we do this every week from 6 to 7 Central Time. And sometimes we sell things, sometimes we demo things. We are doing a sew-along. This is a quilt that I designed. This is one of the blocks. We're going to make a portion of it tonight, a little more than what we normally do because this has to be, I did include piecing instructions on the pattern. And so they're making funny faces back there and I wonder what's going on. It's like, yeah. I wish that we had like cameras on everybody so everybody could see what
we're working on that. We're working on. Hi, Rick. Welcome to the show.
So,
did we have a show and tell for the Let's Surge class that matched up? I think we've got a sample of that. Judy was reminding me. So
we do. I had it out. So this is a sewing machine. I think it's called a caddy. Judy, correct me if I'm wrong. So this goes underneath your sewing machine. Here, I'll tip it forward. And then it hangs down so that you can put your scissors and little bobbins. You got this little pouch for trash and another little pouch over here for scissors and bobbin maybe.
Needles.
Needles.
Pack of needles, I'm sure.
Yep.
Need them, right?
So, oh, no, this is for your serger. This is your waste bin for your serger.
Oh, perfect.
But
even better.
This would do double duty. I would put it under my sewing machine too and use it, so definitely. And it's Velcro, so you can take it off and carry it to the rubbish and throw it all away. So that's, I think, their next project. I think.
Yeah, Judy, is that their next project? You might comment on there.
So, Surge class is definitely worth taking. Everybody who has taken it has really enjoyed it and really
big pouch for chocolate.
Pouch for chocolate.
That's a good call. Okay.
Well, the chocolate wrappers for sure.
Oh, no, that's tricky. She said put a mirror back there and then you'd see us. Patsy's always looking out for you.
I gotta figure out how to do that. Hey, we are making progress on our new location. We got our permit. Yay! Yay, City of Olathe! And that's not sarcastic. I'm serious. There's only one guy doing permits there, and I'm certain that he is overworked and overwhelmed. So we got our permit. I think they're pretty close to being done with the demo. So carrying stuff out we don't want because Aldi left all of these stands for like grocery store registers and we just don't need those kind. So but we'll keep you posted. But now it looks like April is when we'll be moving.
By the end of April.
Fingers crossed, end of April. We do have a shop hop first week of April, so that's coming up. What else? There's something else. Oh, AQS in Branson. Robert and I will be down there for that. We have several booths. We have the Janome booth, we have the Juki booth, the Elna booth, the Viking booth, and then we are also going to have Arrow sewing machine cabinets. So it's always a great time to buy a machine, always a great time to buy a cabinet. discounts are real deep. So, and then we are bringing in classroom machines for Viking and Janome. And we will want to sell all of those machines. So if you're thinking about adopting a new machine, come see us at AQS. Plus, it's all full of sewing machine, or vendors with sewing fabric and notions and demos. If you haven't been to an AQS show, it's worth taking the time to drive down there and go. I've been to several, and I've been to the one in Iowa, which I heard a rumor that it's coming back. The one in Des Moines. I don't know if it's Des Moines or Des Moines.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Got another new viewer tonight. Hi, Marcia. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Marcia. So let's get started with our block tonight. It is block 3A. This one is going so fast. So we're more than halfway there. Well, tonight we'll be more than halfway there. So this one is kind of a, an X. It's kind of a fancier X, but you will want to pay attention when you're doing these red blocks here, because we want them to be in line with the X. So pattern is on the website, available to download. I was cutting out my fabric. I did see a little error. On the cream fabric, it says width of fabric 9 inches. It should be 9.5 inches. I'm going to make it work. You can make it work too. But the sub-cutting is correct. It's 5.5 and 4. I'm using like 5 1/4 and 3 3/4, and it still works. So I'm going to cut out, we're using dies number 1, 2, and 8. So I'm going to cut out my largest piece first. And we need 4 of these. You could rotary cut these. I'm not going to, but big squares like this, you could do rotary cutting pretty easily. And these are just 4.5 inch squares. The original pattern had them pieced, but I was like, if I'm working on the pattern, I can just make it so that we don't have to piece those pieces. So there are those 4 pieces, and then we need 8 of these. So again, I'm just going to fold this over. And I'm kind of using the die itself to line up my fabric. And then I'm just going to really closely cover that. There are the 8 of those that we need. And then that can just be rubbish. And then our next one, we need 8 patches of the red. So you got half of a width of fabric in there. So you're just going to fold this over. I'm going to fold it so that the salvage is not included in my fold. I think I just got 16. Nope. So we just need 8 of those. So we just need 2 layers. And then we need 16 of these. So I'm going to do...
Yeah, Martha, you can go to quiltershq.com and you can actually see the project.
Yep, if there is a link at the top of the Quilters HQ webpage, and you can download all of the patterns, see the project. If you don't, we're using Accuquilt to piece this because, I'm not kidding, I'm at the point where if I can't cut it out with Accuquilt, I'm probably not going to make it. Because you can see how quickly this goes. So there's my 6 layers. I'm going to cut that out. The patterns are there. And then the rotary cutting instructions are also included in the pattern for those of you that don't have Accuquilt. So there's my 8 red pieces.
So we kind of, this is a starting segment for the show, so we usually start and get the block done and do some intros, and then we have some show and tells. We talk about some products and some other quilting ideas for inspiration. So If you want to hang on, Marcia, we always do do a giveaway every single show.
Yep.
And there's no purchase necessary. All you need to do is comment.
And we do appreciate it if you like, share, and hit the subscribe button.
Smash up the like button.
Get the notification bell so you know when we go live, because we also have an Accuquilt Club that we go live from that as well. And so...
Hi, Carla. Welcome.
If you're in a region where there's not a shop, you're buying online, I have tons and tons of tips and tricks for this product. I use it myself. I use it at home. I have been having fun with a 4-inch cube. I'll bring you in a show and tell for that soon.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
It's, so die number 5, we need 16 half square triangles. So there's 2 shapes, so that's 4, 8, and 12. There's 12 of those, and I need one more pass with this to get my 16. And 16, and then we also need 16 of this. So I'm checking to make sure. So let's do it this way. So you're going to take this piece after you cut out those larger squares, fold it in half like this, and you'll make, so 1, 2, we might need to adjust that, so that's 8, yep, I'll need more fabric, but we can add that to the kit.
How much is the kit tonight?
I think it's $5.83. I wrote it down in my book and I don't have it with me. So again, this one you're going to turn it so that you still have your straight grain going through the cutting. Nope, you can't get it. I was thinking we couldn't, but we could. So there is 8 and we need 16.
Improvise.
Yeah. And there is one 16-inch block completely cut out. And what was that, like 5 minutes? No, that's 8. I need twice as much, but we will have enough to do this tonight. So with this pattern, it's actually going to piece it in 3 pieces. So I'm going to make a couple of the segments. And show you, we're not going to sew the whole thing together, but I just want to make a couple of the segments and show you how easily this goes together. So we'll need 2 of these, white and a dark blue. And I'm sewing on the TL18 tonight. Let me make sure, lower my presser foot here.
So Joan, what is the differences really between the 2010 and the 2018? I mean, they look a lot, or the TL18, they look a lot the same.
They do.
Really different?
So the TL18 is part of the QVP brand. You can tell the difference between that and the 2010 or any of the Juki products because they have this real bluish purple side cover. Some of the machines have the lid that's the same color. But the major difference in this machine, why you would want to go to this one over the 2010, is this one has the ability to raise the presser foot pressure, or the presser foot away from the feed dogs. So if you're sewing something really thick like a rag quilt or handbags or something like that, and you need that extra lift, this is the one you would want. Oops, there we go. We're on turtle. And so anytime, this doesn't matter what machine you're using, anytime you are having to assist, and when I say assist, I mean like help push your fabric through, like push it to get it through, you need to decrease the presser foot pressure on your machine, because the machine should be able to just pull those products, those fabrics through. This is the whatchamacallit, or no, doohickey.
Yep.
It's a multifunction.
That's the tool right there.
Finger presser tool. Saves me from having to walk over to the iron. And so we're just going to press these open. And it really does a good job. So I'm going to lay these out so I get them going the right way. I must have moved a little bit there.
Hi, Patty. How are you? Welcome.
And so we're going to create a little segment like this to go together. And so you'll create 4 of these segments. And you're going to create another one is, you'll need 2 of these. So let's make 2 of these real quick. Got too many pieces. And this little tool is a magnetic seam guide. Love it, love it, love it. I like it better than using the feet that have the little guide, that little sliver of metal that keeps the fabric in the 1/4 inch. I like this better because sometimes if you don't like lay your fabric out just completely straight on there, you can catch threads with that little piece of metal. And all machines have that foot, whether it comes with it or not. You know, it's available for most machines. And again, I'm just going to press these towards the dark. Another thing that I really like about Accuquilt is I don't have to go back and trim the dog ears off of my blocks. Okay, so then we need, I'm going to lay this out too.
Hey, Bernadine, how are you?
Pieces out of here.
I think we're going to be out in your neighborhood in mid-April, late April, for a VDTA show.
Oh, yep.
In Vegas.
Vegas. So we're going to make a segment that looks like that. And this is how this block goes together. I'm going to piece these together. We're not going to piece the whole quilt. The pattern is pretty easy to follow. Or the whole quilt. We are going to piece the whole quilt. We're not going to piece the whole block tonight, though. So I have homework.
Peggy said she made a baby romper and used the doohickey, and it was very helpful.
Yeah.
She said wonderful, so that actually is a much stronger word.
Yeah, I think they're 7 something. Yep.
That's right, Vegas.
Going to Vegas. What's the thing? What happens in Vegas? We're boring people. We're not What was the movie? Bachelor Party or something? Hangover. Yeah.
Nope. Those days are over.
Yeah, that's... can't do that. Not anymore.
That's too long to recoup.
Not that I ever really did. It's just...
Work. Does the magnetic seam guide affect the electronics on the machine?
It does not.
So the only thing with the magnetic seam guide is you need to, there are certain machines that it doesn't work just from where the foot placement is. And I think the Viking Epic 2 was one of those models. I think there were some Berninas.
Some of them
didn't work properly. So.
Yeah, because I think it might work if you move your needle. since this is a straight stitch only machine, the feed dogs are really narrow. So I don't have to worry about the feed dog, the magnet covering up the feed dogs. So those are the main segments, and this is going to go right there on that block. And then there is a center block, which is just repeats of this block. In the center, this block is turned with the points inside. So on the outside of the block, it's out here. So you'll have two pieces of this together when you piece it. I do recommend that you lay this block out before you piece it all together. It's just going to save you some heartache and having to dig out your seam ripper. That's no fun. I'm not friends with my seam ripper.
Hi, Barbara. How are you? Welcome.
Don't like using it.
If you're just getting in the middle of the show, this is Make It So. We do it on every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central. We're working on the block of the week. The pattern's up on the website. When we're done with this, we'll be doing a show and tell. Some creative stuff today. We don't have a lot of sale items today. But
no, we're not. Well, if you want one of these, you would comment, make it mine, and
multi-finger presser too.
Doohickey. Multi-function finger pressers. So
I don't know what was going on in the marketing department that day.
I think it was Margarita Day. Yeah, we'll call it. No. Yeah. No.
Something way too long.
I mean, I get that you want the name to describe the product, but multi-function finger presser tool.
What is that? MFFFP?
Yeah.
MFFFP. But that's only one use. You can use it as a stylus. You can use it with tracing paper to mark. It's a great tool for what it costs. I like it better than the purple thing because this one is really rigid.
Hey, Teresa, how are you? How's the retreat going?
So let's talk about the quilt behind us.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody knows what it is. I think so.
It is a pineapple quilt. And it was made with Accuquilt. So this is
I'll come around there.
the pineapple die. It's $89.99. We do have a discount on our Accuquilt products. If you use the code QHQACC, or you can comment Make It Mine and we'll just automatically apply that discount for you. I can't tell you what the discount is because they have MAP rules. I guess it doesn't matter anymore because they do their own. I don't know. We'll find out here soon. They're supposed to be making an announcement soon. But I cut this out in 2 evenings after work. And this is 9x9. It's 81 blocks. And it went so fast. And the way that this quilt, this is laid out, you've got a section for red, you've got a section for white, and then you've got another section for red. If I had used my strip dies to cut these strips out before I laid it out, instead of rotary cutting them, I could have cut it out even faster. I could have probably saved myself 40 minutes cutting this quilt out. It did take a little bit longer to quilt because, you know, even at my speed of sewing. But this is a quilt that I would not have tried to take on without Accuquilt. There are rulers out there, and some people enjoy using them. So, but just like your, there's an extra thread. Just like your half square triangles and everything, these pieces are dog-eared for you. They're cut exactly to size. So normally when we make a pineapple quilt block, we sew it, and then there's a ruler that you can use, and then you trim it, and then you sew, and then you trim. I don't want to do that. I want to just sit down and sew. So I had these stacks of pieces. They were about like this, of each of these places, and you start, so the block is actually right here. This is the edge of the block where I'm tracing. So you start with your center square, and then you just sew the next 4 pieces, and then you're sewing the next 4 pieces. And I kind of tossed them around a little bit when I was, because I didn't have enough fabric to just use 2 colors. I do love 2-colored quilts. but I didn't have enough to just use the same 2 fabrics, so I found fabrics that kind of went together. And so the reds are different color red, or not different colors, they're just different patterns, and then the creams are different colors as well. There's another thread. But I actually haven't taken this one home to proof it yet, but if you haven't made one, it's a wonderful quilt to make. This is super easy. It looks like it's really complex. You're just sewing straight seams and you can fly through these. So it was 81 blocks, so I just string pieced them all together. It did take me a little while to quilt it though. I mean, to piece all the blocks together, and then I brought it here to quilt because I don't want to quilt anything this big on the sit-down quilting machine. And then I use the curly swirly pattern, which I love this one. Works great for quilts that are really geometric. It actually softens up the quilt a little bit. Okay, any questions about this quilt?
Any questions on the pineapple quilt, other than maybe why it was named a pineapple? Because it looks like pineapples?
I think so.
Because I have this question now, and so you guys may have the answer out there.
Yeah, I think it is because it looks like a
pineapple.
I think it is because it looks like a pineapple. The way you're piecing it, it's got rounded off edges, and so, but totally worth it. It's a beautiful quilt. I made this one for me. I don't make that many quilts for me, but this one's mine, and Robert took it down, so now it's ready to go home.
There you go.
Okay, next quilt that I want to show you. This one's hanging in the shop. I don't know if you've seen it before. This is one of those quilts that, so my story for quilting is, my mom taught me how to sew when I was young, like most of us, and I really didn't have any interest in doing it, and it's one of those, don't they just know us so well from the get-go? She liked to make clothing, which really I still don't have a lot of interest in doing that, but she threw down this comment like a gauntlet and said, you know, you might make a living sewing someday. And I'm like, nope, never gonna happen. Not me, not gonna do it. I'm doing this. And here we are. So maybe Mother does know best. But in 2000, I got Epstein-Barr. And it's sort of like a cousin to Mono. There's another one like Gary Barr or something like that. And I was kind of sick for about a year. And so I couldn't do a lot. It makes you really winded. You can't breathe. You can't walk up the stairs without getting out of breath. So I spent a lot of time on the couch doing nothing. And that's when I decided to take up quilting.
What a great hobby.
So that's why we're here today. So you never know where you'll end up. So wasn't certainly not planned. But this was one. So I made the quilt and I pieced it, and then I wanted to try out hand quilting, and I really admired those quilts that are just quilted to death. And so that's what I did on this one, and it took me about a year. So by the time I finished it, I was actually feeling much better, and, you know,
Had to go back to work.
I had to go back to work, you know, all that fun stuff. But yeah, this was done. This is, I don't know if you're familiar with the Dear Jane quilt. This is based on that, so it's part of Electric Quilt software. So you can buy an add-on for it. And so obviously these blocks aren't 4 inches. This is much, much bigger. So with the Electric Quilt software, you can actually make these bigger. And so that's what I did. I didn't want to take on a quilt that small. And, you know, to be honest, I don't think I would take on this quilt again because, you know, that block up there in the corner, that was not fun to piece. But, you know, and I had templates for these that you can print out of the software. And the reason I'm talking about Electric Quilt is we have a class that's kind of a beginning and an introduction to Electric Quilt. You do need to have it, and you have it loaded on your laptop to bring in. But we're in the information gathering stages for that class. So
you should have got a survey.
Yep.
We sent a survey out if people are interested in taking the Electric Quilt. You know, it's interesting to me, the colors, right? I mean, how, you know, if you just picked a purple and that color, thinking about how they would come together and how it makes the blocks really pop too.
Well, I said earlier I do like 2-colored quilts, and I bought these fabrics at the same time. These are no longer in print. These are really old, and I think I got them in Pennsylvania on a trip. But yeah, when I saw the fabrics, I thought these would go together beautifully. And my number is 3 yards. If I don't have a project for it, I'm going to get 3 yards because that fit with the size of quilts that I like to make. And so I had little tiny scraps of this left over, so not a lot. But
as a general rule, the 3 yards is pretty good. We had a customer today that came in and she was just short about 1.25 yards on a border that she was working on, trying to match that fabric up. And it's just so difficult. I mean, we could come close, but it just was so. Finally, she just scrapped it and said, "You know what? I'll use that on something else, and I'm just going to buy a couple yards of fabric to finish this off."
So if you make king quilts, you need to get 4 yards of fabric, and usually a king quilt is going to take you 9 to 12 yards, depending on how much it's pieced. So queen size quilts are what I typically make. So I might have bought more than 3 yards. So typically, you know, 6 to 7, it will get you a queen size quilt, depending on how much piecing there is. If you do a log cabin or a pineapple quilt, or where there's a lot of piecing, you're going to need more fabric. But 3 yards is my number because that fits with the sizes that I make. But I've been playing with the 4-inch cube. I don't really want to make big quilts like this anymore, so I will probably still do it. But I've got a great show and tell for you.
She's on these minis.
And they're just perfect. So as nicely as the pieces sew together in the 8-inch cube, they sew together that well in the 4-inch cube too. So
yeah, and so if you guys are thinking about you want a class or you want something, this is a good place to post. Judy's always on here. She's our education coordinator. She's trying to put together classes and things like that, and we know that you do want some of the online stuff, and we're working on how we get that format done so it give you a great experience.
Yeah.
So it's a great place to post so that Judy can take some notes, go back and rewatch things that you guys might like to have as a class. So
yeah. So you come close and get a close-up of the quilting. So I'll flip it up where you can actually see it, because I actually did. This is quilted to death. And I have not done one like this since, but it's a lot of stitches. But like I said, it took
a lot of thread in that one.
It did. It took about 1 year to do all of this, and mostly I just did echo quilting, like around here. But it's one of those once-in-a-lifetime quilts, so it's hanging up in the shop. I think I have washed it. I think I have used it. I am of the opinion that if you make a quilt, use it. I mean, don't just let it sit to disintegrate over time.
But it sure does give you an appreciation. I mean, this took you 1 year, right? So if you think about the quilts that you go to see at the quilt show, or if you go to the museum in Paducah or some of those places, how much work they truly put into these. And a lot of people don't know how much work goes into a quilt sometimes, and especially a show quilt.
Yeah. You know, and I say 1 year would be like, okay, so I also had like my morning nap and then my afternoon nap. And then I would get tired and probably go to bed at like 8 o'clock at night and then wake up at like 9 o'clock the next day. So, but
a show quilt, I mean, it does take a lot. I mean, quilts that you've entered in shows before took you a lot of time.
Yeah. And I'm not doing those anymore. I don't know. Somewhere I got the idea that if you make a quilt, you're supposed to enter it into the show and have it juried. And you know what? I don't, you know, if I think it's beautiful, that's all that matters. So we've got a demo. I'm going to show you some of the quilting patterns, free motion. You can do these on a domestic, but I'm going to show you on a long arm that we can do. As long as we have enough battery. I didn't even think about that.
I had it charging up, so I think we're ready to roll.
Okay, well, I'm going to walk up there.
Come with us. Through the shop.
Through the shop. So this is the QMP20. This is a machine from Janome, and Robert's going to drive the camera and show you the pattern. You'll have to get a lot closer to see what we're
Coming
doing.
in.
So this is one that I've been trying to teach myself a little bit. I don't know if we can turn that light off on the machine. Yep, if you leave it there in focus.
How's that?
Hang on, let it focus. That's good. So, of course, I can't really sew.
What's the problem?
I don't know. Somebody might be in the way a little bit. But, is there a way to turn this off?
The light?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there actually is.
I think it's right on this one of these buttons. Nope.
Nope. Not that one.
Yeah.
I think it's up here.
It's in the software.
It's in the software. I think we can turn the light off. Just bear with me here for a second, because I did not power this up earlier. Okay. I think. So basically the pattern, are we zoomed in enough to see? So you're making these swirls. It's very similar to the pattern that I have on that, yeah. It's probably going to be even worse. So let me go over here. So, is this not even turned on?
Too much backlight.
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know if we could put something over it to make it better. Some tape. So it's just a little.
I don't think we really have anything.
Okay. I don't know. If that will help. Because I can do this.
It's so bright.
Yeah.
It's reflecting really
It's
bad.
reflecting.
Yeah.
So, could we do it on the Q20?
Sure.
Okay. Let's do it over there. And I'll show you the same pattern.
And we'll get it where we can turn the light off on that one next time. So.
Yep.
Might be able to get that while you're getting this one going.
Yeah.
Hang on, guys.
On yet? Okay. And then that one. I'm going to start with a new thread. We've got this dark gray thread, so this should show up really well. Let me drag my pedal over here. And so this is going to be sewing with the automation. Let me just grab these real quick. These little pads help you steer while you're quilting. And so I'm just going to exit here real quick, pull my bottom thread up, just like that. And so basically we're just going to make this kind of half semicircle. Yeah.
Yeah, live show can be interesting. Yeah, for sure. We never know what's going to happen on the live show.
So you're going to make a large half circle. Can you see okay? Okay. And then you're going to come part way back out. And I'm going to do this really big. And then whatever direction you made that circle, you're going to go the opposite way. So I went towards my left. I'm going to come back out a little bit, go to the right. So we're not going completely around. And so I've got this space over here. I can sew back around to that and go that way. So this is kind of that pattern. You can make smaller ones. Come off, make another larger one. So the key to this pattern is always go in the opposite direction that you were sewing. And I've got this space right here, so I'm just going to sew down there. And this pattern will work really well for quilts that are very geometric. And I'm going to make a smaller one here. But I was working on a quilt that they did in our Springfield store, and I'm quilting it for them. I'm doing custom quilting on it. And so this is one of the patterns that I'm using for the background fill. So you can see how quickly and without a lot of effort you can fill up a very large, and I'm just going to come this way, another big one. You can fill up a pretty large area, and don't worry about it when you have like these little gaps. If somebody says anything, just tell them you meant to do that. So this is a really easy, and I wouldn't tell you it was easy if it wasn't. This is a really easy pattern to do. You can do this. You can do this on your domestic. You can do this on your long arm. You can do this on your sit-down quilting machine. This one is easy. If you practice drawing it out with a piece of paper and get kind of an idea of how you can keep it even, then you can make this one as well. It is not difficult. This is not one, anybody can do this one. Thank you, Vanna. This is our color of the month. This is Bubblegum. This is color number 3660, and it is a variegated thread. It's really super pretty for Valentine's.
Yeah, so if you're part of the Thread of the Month Club, if you want to explain that.
So if you're not part of the Thread Club, this is 15% off. Our Aerofill thread price is $14.99 now. They had a price increase. So it's 15% off of that. And if you are in our Thread Club, it's 20% off. We are still looking for replacements for the boxes for the Thread Club. I think I have a lead on one, or Carrie has a lead on one. So it's $20 to join. Comes with a spool of white, and you get this nice little carrying box to store all your thread in.
So everybody, go Carrie, go Carrie, give her an emoji.
Yeah, give her a thumbs up.
She needs an emoji to get those boxes.
And our giveaway tonight, thank you. This is also Aerofill. This is bobbin thread. And the reason it's open is a customer pulled it off of the shelf, and it had a little dark spot on it, and I didn't sell it to her, and because I thought it might be ink or something. It was just fuzz. So I opened it up, pulled it off, and so it's basically a full spool of bobbin thread. So we just need a winner for that. Okay. And then what else? I think that's it for us tonight. But bubblegum, very pretty. I love variegated thread. And if you have like a quilt with a lot of like open space or background, variegated works really well. If you like K-facet fabrics, it'll get lost. Just use a really bright colored, I would use like a neon orange or a neon green, or for the summertime colors, and like a really nice teal for his fall colors. But love the bobbin thread. This is one, if you haven't tried it, somebody's going to be really lucky. It comes in white and black, and I don't know, Carrie, I'll have to check to see if they raised the price on it. These are what we have in stock right now would be $10.99 if you want to try it out.
Do you use 80 Y in the bobbin when you quilt?
No,
80 weight.
No, I don't. You can. So for long armors, let me give you a quick demo on a really handy tool. This is called a Toa Gauge. It's spelled T-O-W-A. You can look for them online. Comes with the Bernina. Does not come with our Juki machine or the Janome machine.
We do recommend it.
I'm going to make a really corny joke. This will save you tension headaches. So with all of our long arms, these are like mechanical machines. All of the tension starts in the bobbin. And so, let me just grab the bobbin real quick. So, most of them have these big M-size bobbins. You can look for these online. They're $129 online. Our price for these is $59.99. If you want one of these, comment "Make It Mine," Toa Gauge. And we don't care if you spell gauge wrong. I can't spell it right, ever. If it weren't for spell check. And it's spelled T-O-W-A. So with your bobbin, you're going to snap this in. And this one should be set absolutely correctly. So if you have a Bernina machine at home, you'll know what your tension is supposed to be set to. Oops. I missed my tail. There it is. So I'm going to pull enough thread out. Can you turn that around so I can see if we're getting a good... Yeah. So this just snaps in here, just like you were putting it in your machine. And so, oh, I've got it wrapped around something. Let me grab the Juki bobbin. Okay. Almost looks like the exact same bobbin. The case is a little bit different. Pull that tail out. So this is going to snap in. There's a little lever right here, and you just snap this in just like you were putting it into your machine. There's two dials, one here and one here. You're going to go down and around, and you're going to pull right through there, and then you're going to pull straight out. This should be reading somewhere between 200 and 250, and if you just keep pulling, so that little gauge. So can we see the numbers yet? Tell me if you can see the numbers.
Close.
Close.
Yeah.
So as you pull that out, and then there's a little cutter right here too where you can cut that. So all of our tension for long arms, all long arms start in the bobbin. Juki runs between 200 and 250 for most quilters weight cotton thread. So 40 weight, Superior, Glide, I've used Glide. I've set it a little bit lighter because you don't need as much. I might have that opposite. But I don't think you need as much tension on polyester thread as you do on cotton thread. So once you get that set, then you adjust your top tension, whether it's digitally on this machine or mechanically on that machine, mechanically on the Janome machine, so that you can bring your bobbin tension up to where you just start seeing little points of your bobbin thread, so coming up between your stitches, and then you relax the tension, back it off a little bit, and then you will have perfect tension on your machine. So I know the Juki runs between 200 and 250. I want to say the Janome is about the same, and the Bernina is a little bit different. I want to say it's about 200 for the Bernina.
Yeah, Jen says she uses on every bobbin change.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine.
So I don't know if I've got my thread. Let me redo the bobbin here. Oops.
Lana Ramsdale is our winner.
Lana.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Make sure we have your information.
I'm not going to show you the Bernina because I just popped the bobbin spring out. But our price on those is $59.99. If you want one, you have a long arm. It uses an M-size bobbin, We also have the same for the L size bobbins. So you can set your tension perfectly. It works like magic.
Definitely helps.
So if it's something that you've always struggled with, well, I can never get my tension right, you get one of those, tension gone. Tension problems are just gone. So, okay. That's it for us tonight.
I think so.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope
Everyone
you had
have a
fun.
great
I had
week.
fun.
Everyone have a great week.
Yep.
And as we always say, remember to change your needle. Check your thread path.
Yep. Do that before you call service.
All right, guys.
Have a good night.
Everyone have a great week.
We'll see you soon.
What weight is the bobbin thread?
I use the same thread. Very rarely will I try to do a different color on the bottom than I do on the top. So I typically just use the same thread on the bottom as I do on the top. So if I'm using, like I'm really liking Glide for quilting. It's a polyester thread. It's really strong. I can buy small spools, or if it's one I think I'm going to use a lot of, I can get a big spool. And yeah, I like it a lot. So that's a 40 weight thread. I do have to be a little bit careful because when I'm winding the bobbin, it wants to pop out of the little thing. So I just kind of hold on to it very lightly when I'm winding my bobbin. So yeah, Bernina is set 200 to 250, same as the Juki, which makes sense because they both have pretty much the same quality of stitch. So thread with your long arm. With the Toa Gauge, I've actually had, and I didn't use it in the bobbin, but I used a metallic on the top, and I used, I think, just a 50 weight thread in the bobbin, and I had it sewing in automation with no thread breaks. So for a metallic thread, I mean, I had to back the tension way off in the bobbin, and I think I set it around 100 because you don't want that much tension on your top when you're using a metallic. You'll get all kinds of thread breaks. Not that we would use metallics that much, but you can with a Toa Gauge. So if you have a long arm and you don't have one, seriously consider getting it. It will save you all kinds of tension headaches.
No pun intended.
Pun intended.
Oh, pun intended.
Pun intended.